Hi, my little droogies. Today we are going to start coding a website, which is more like the websites that you would see on the web now, and we're going to do it totally through Notepad. So let me begin. First of all, I start with my tag and my doc type to tell the browser what type of document I have. I then need to start with the head. I need the word title in there. I'm not actually going to put a title in here though. And then I close my head. Body. Close my body. And close my HTML. In the body, I'm only going to write one line of text. This is the heading. I'm going to save this now as heading.html, and I change where it reads text documents there to all files. Speeding up the process, I'm just going to change the word menu, save as, and let's call this one menu.html. And in this one here, this is the homepage, and you guessed it, we will save this as home.html. So we're ready to go. Okay, watch as I do something here that's going to change the way we start looking at the way we design web pages. I'm actually going to create what's called my index page. Now this is the first page of your website that a browser will look for. So I'm going to save it as index.html. And here is where I'm going to put the title in. My first coded website. So I've got everything right at the moment. I've got a doc type, I've got a head, a title, a head, and then I close it. Now normally I would put in a body. But what I want to make is a website that has a menu up on the left hand side, heading up the top, and then a home page in the middle. And eventually when we start getting more comfortable with this, we'll be able to link from the menu into the home page. So I am going to create what is called a frame set. The first one I'm going to do is set up for my heading and the rest of it. So I'm going to write in frameset rows 200 pixels wide for the or high, sorry, for the first row, and then I'm going to put a star in. Now the star just means the rest, so the rest of the window, whatever size that is. And the first thing I'm going to put in here is my heading. Frame src equals heading .html. The second row I'm actually going to split into two columns, so I need to do another frame set. Instead of rows, I'll write the word cols for columns, and I'm going to do the same thing, 200 and star. The two columns are going to be my menu.html and then my home. Then I close the second frame set, and then I close it. One thing I didn't do, and I will have to open up my other ones just to make sure. Pretty sure I didn't have an HTML in there. So that's my index ready to go. So I'm going to save. So I will just open up those other ones quickly. Okay, so I did that whilst video was paused. All I had to do was put in that HTML tag here. So if I just reopen my index and show you exactly what that looks like, it goes as follows. We're telling the browser that it's a document, an HTML document. We then start at HTML. We've got a heading and our title here with my first coded website. We then close the heading. Instead of having a body, all we're doing is telling the browser to find these three HTML documents and display them the way we have asked it to. So we've got 2 rows and the second row is broken into 2 columns. So I'm going to close that. And if I'm just opening up my actual file here, when I click on index, as you can see, let me expand this. You can see that there's been a couple of little things that I've done not quite right. Okay, we've got the heading which works. We've got the menu part which works and the home part here, but it doesn't seem to be right in the quite right in its order. So bear with me for a moment. Okay, I found my error. I want you to have a look very carefully at this line here. I forgot to do one thing, which of course changed the way my whole web page was displayed. So I'll save that. I can get rid of this section. It's not necessary. Save it. Close it. And open it up in a web browser. Moving my video along. You can see here, my title's here. I've got a space for the heading, a space for the menu, a space for the home page. This is your springboard. This is your starting point. I want you to see how far you can take this knowledge and see if you can start creating your own website.